Alright, well, we are underway for the qualifying session here in Baku for Div 1. And currently it's round 3 of the championship. And if anyone followed the Div 2 along, if this is anything to go off, it will be a very good race. We had three safety cars, I believe, in that race, and 10 DNFs. So it was an absolute crazy race. Many crashes and a thrilling battle at the end. So hopefully we get something similar this race. And then I'll currently have an update for the standings. So Lindsay is leading the standings from skits. Lindsay's on 57 points. So that's 22-point gap at the front of the championship. So Lindsay will be wanting to secure that lead today in Baku, and it looks like Yeatman Fleet. Oh no, it's Lindsay actually, the championship leaders furthest out to start the race. Well, we're gonna go with them for the first flying lap of round 3 Div 1. And here goes Lindsay down to turn 1. Where is they gonna brake? Didn't seem like they were pushing the car too much there, just wanting to get a banker lap in, which is very safe and conservative, and not pushing it too wide on turn 2 either, because there's a yellow flag. It's looks like it's Blake boat in the AlphaTauri that might have spun. Yeah. We'll go back on board with Lindsay as they're coming round turn 4 now, and to the end of sector 1 they're going. Obviously going to go purple because they're the first one to start the qualifying session. And they're coming up to the castle section now. How can they handle this? They go very nicely through turn 7, I believe it is. And great weaving of the car through as they almost lose the back end. You could see they got a little bit of oversteer, did Lindsay. And here he comes through these swooping left-handers up into the braking turn of turn 15. And it's been a lovely clean lap so far. Can they finish it off? Going through turn 16 right now. What sort of lap times are going to be? So they just have to put their foot to the floor. Going through last couple of turns now, just turn 20 to go, which is a slight steer of the wheel. It looks like it's going to be a decent first lap for Lindsay. It's a 1:4.16, so the pole times in Div 2 were a 1:40. So we should see faster by quite a bit, and that's I believe a Williams off in the middle sector. I'm going to go on board with Iron Rhino to see if we can have a look at what happened. This Ghost, it's a 1:4.03, so it's quite fast. Ooh, that's quite an odd incident to happen there and lose your right wheel. Maybe some sort of crash. As Clarkson beats Ghost's time by a second and a half, of 10th and a half. MX also going up there, so Lindsay's down in 6th place already. And everyone except Iron Rhino set a time. Iron Rhino going purple in sector 2. That's very good start to the lap. Can they finish it off nicely though? They've got no traffic whatsoever ahead of them as there's a little bit of chaos. His teammate Clarkson looks to be in some traffic there and causing yellow flag, but to the line, Iron Rhino goes fastest by a 10th. or half a tenth. And is the first man into the 139s this afternoon. Well, all the drivers will be coming into the pits before they do the second round of qualifying. It looks like Italian Herb's trying to slow down for cars behind him. Same with, looks like Clappy up ahead. Letting Lee the G through. But it seems like they don't know that everyone's done the lap. And here goes the Haas coming in very hotly into the pit. So who's going to get out on track first? We'll see if it's Lindsay, who was out on track first from before. It looks like they might be coming back out again. As you can see, an Alfa Romeo coming out of the garage. And it is Lindsay Ames who is coming out of their garage to go for a second out lap. Shortly followed by their teammate Yeet McFleet, I think. Maybe, oh sorry, McFleet actually just coming into the pits. Doing the opposite of their teammate, so only man out on track is Lindsay Games at the moment. So the streets of Baku looking very empty. There's not too much to watch, but now the others, Ghosts, who's currently in third place, coming out, followed by MX behind them in the standings of the qualifying session as well. Lee the G followed, is following them, and then OC Remix, followed by Pro Gamer, RT Clappy, and maybe something happening to Lee the G, letting people through. That's Blake Bow overtaking MX, I believe. Oh, sorry, it's Skits, not MX. And so now there's only a handful of drivers still in the pits, everyone else on an outlap. And Lindsay's coming to finish his outlap and start his second flying lap. Not too aggressive on that curve compared to the others that have been through here. We're right on board for the rest of this lap, not hitting the apex as much as he would have liked. Blake Boat retires in the castle section. Have a look from onboard Skits, taking it very cautiously, and it looks as quite a weird incident. Might have hit the inside curb, and another retirement is Cloxon probably doing a Yuki Tsunoda. And I think that would have messed up Lindsay's lap because they've aborted the lap. And Italian Herb's just waiting for Blake Boat to clear the track, and they do. And there's another retirement. I think that is a Williams. Yeah, the Williams of Carmel Piura. It's hard to tell who's on a lap here and who's been interfered with and going for another lap. I believe Skits is, looks like he's coming in, maybe on for a second lap. And I saw another retirement, and Pro Gamers in the wall, getting very dangerous, and he's hit the back of Lee the G. Pro Gamer gets a 5-second grid penalty, and you see OC Remix there, the stricken car in the middle of the track. Ghosts out of the session in the castle section, another victim of the castle The Pro Gamer is gone down the inside, battling with the half of Leader G, who he hit. Leader G going down the inside and into the wall. Leader G's out, and that was absolutely needless. No need for them to try and send one on him, as neither of them were on a good lap. And it looks like Skits in the Ferrari is on a lap. Coming through on the back of Pro Gamer now, going a bit wide on that apex, and Pro Gamer making way for them. As they've got turn 16 to get through. They've gone fastest in Sector 2, beating Asa and Rhino through there. And now just turn 19. And the final turn, turn 20. And Asa Skits can see the finish line from here. Can they get it up on the second row maybe? What sort of improvement will it be? Not good enough for the second row. It's good enough for 6th place though. They make a little bit of an improvement. So that's a good lap from them, but we've already had 7 or 6 retirements. We've got 5 minutes to go, so there shouldn't be too many more. But it's given a very good opportunity for Asa and Rhino, whose teammate and rival in this qualifying session is out. And it's another yellow flag. It's for MX this time, who might just be slowing down to save battery. We'll see. I don't know what MX is doing there. We're going to have to see whether they come into the pits or not. And they do, so maybe just a spin on their flying lap, coming in to do a final one later. But it looks like Italian Herbs is on a flying lap. And they've negotiated the castle section all right there. Yellow flags, and I believe that's for Lindsay, who's going to be making way. But Italian Herbs is slowing down. So maybe aborting the lap, and Lindsay on an out lap, setting themselves up nicely. And it's Pro Gamer taking it very slow on their out lap. And this is probably going to be Lindsay's last shot at pole position today. And this time they're pushing the car to the limits. You can see a bit of a wobble at the back end of it. And he's got a nice run onto this second straight, with DRS running down to turn 3. Braking hard and hitting the apex nicely. Very good momentum through turn 3. And that's quite nice on turn 4, and it's the end of sector 1. What sort of time can it be? Improves by 3/10, so that's only going to be good enough for 8th place right now. But we'll see what can Lindsay produce here. Still got a sector and a half to go through the castle section. That was so close to the inside wall. Don't know how he missed that. I thought for sure that was a crash. And up ahead, someone's completely stopped it. Pro Gamer in a really unhelpful position there. So that will have messed up Lindsay's time a lot. A very bad spot. Pro Gamer to stop there. Into fastest sector 2 despite that. Up 1.5 seconds, or 1.1 seconds. So 1.1 seconds from here would give Lindsay 5th place in the qualifying, but can he improve any more? He's going to the line. What's it going to be? It's going to be 5th place for Lindsay. So I don't know if they have another lap in them. Oh, and it's a retirement from Rapid RRT Clappy. We'll have a look from MX's POV. See if we can see what happened. It looks like they've cleared the car, but I assume they've just lost it on the exit of turn 18. Well, MX has a great opportunity here to challenge Ice Iron Rhino. Clockson's out of the session, so is Ghost behind them. So they're in the middle of a DNF sandwich. Can they break out of the sandwich though and challenge the current leader of the session, Ice Iron Rhino, who's on provisional pole? This will be the last lap of MX's session. And I think Pro Gamer is going to be the last one to cross the line. As MX goes through turn 3 very nicely. And can they hit the apex on turn 4? They can. And he's going through turn 5, 6, and it's purple in the first sector, so they're putting up a very good challenge so far to Ice Iron Rhino, as it looks like Pro Gamer has lost his front wing maybe. Yeah, it's a crash coming out of turn 19 for them, and they've aborted their lap, and fair enough. Oh, and that's Yeet McFleet on a lap who's had to go deep into turn 3. Broke too late or locked up and has had to avoid crashing. So it leaves only 3 drivers in contention or still running out on track. As MX is coming to the line now to their final lap of quali. It's looking like quite a good lap. It's going to be very close, and it's not good enough to beat second place. 0.04 of a second in it. So Skits across the line is in 6th place. So that's solid. Can Ice Iron Rhino extend on his lead and absolutely obliterate everyone for pole? What's it going to be for Ice Iron Rhino? Across the line. Goes quicker by 0.3 of a second. So it's a nice, comfortable pole for Ice Iron Rhino. Yeah, McFleet taking it very slow through the last couple of corners, coming to the line, and this will be the end of the qualifying session. Just taking his sweet time as yet, McFleet. He's going to come across the line and finish off the session. And it was a very dominant session for Ice Iron Rhino, who's gotten pole position by 0.5 of a second. So I'll run through the order. Ice Iron Rhino, Clockson, who retired quite early from the session. MXT Ghosts also retired from the session. Lindsay Games, ISO Skits, Yeet McFleet, Lee the G, RLT Clappy, Italian Herbs, Blake Boat, OC Remix, Pro Gamer, and Camel Cura rounds out the grid for the race of 26 laps around Baku. So all the drivers would have finished loading their setups now. Time to start the formation lap. Iceland Rhino leads the pack away. Once again, it's a predicted one-stop, medium to hard strategy. They'll be stopping on lap 11 to 14, but it could be earlier, or some people could gamble later on a safety car. We had 2 last session, and Pro Gamers just binned it straight after turn 2, and there's already a couple just disqualified from the formation lap. So OC Remix and Camel are going to start this race on cold tyres. And is Iceland Rhino just going to chill through this pack? Will he trying to take some people to get to the front? It looks like he's going to go for a couple of moves. Almost smashing into the back of Yeet McFleet, I believe. Or maybe it was Skits. But he's running currently in 3rd place on track. He's gonna look maybe to overtake MX and his teammate. And he's going past MX and now his teammate back into the lead of the formation lap. And Blake Boat right at the back of the formation lap. Maybe trying to delay it a bit. Also there's Pro Gamer who's just standing right still on turn 15, now turn 16. There's a couple of drivers, looks like they've been in a tangle. Italian Herbs and maybe Lee the G. Both been disqualified from the formation lap quite late on. So while Blake Boat's catching up and lining up on the grid, every second he takes, it's going to take temperature out of the Iceland Rhino's tyres. And that precious temperature is going to mean he's having a bad race start. But they're all lining up pretty well on the grid here. A couple of people getting disqualified. Fluffy for doing a wrong lineup. But the lights are coming on for Baku. It's round 3 of Div 1 of the ORL, and it's lights out and away we go. And it's terrible camera angle, but Cloxton's taken the lead into turn 1 and MX has spun round on the back of Iceland Rhino, and it's the only collision significant one into turn 1. Cloxton maintains the lead into turn 2, but down the order there's a couple of battles, and it looks like Iceland Rhino's coming back at his teammate. On the outside is Cloxton. We're joining from, someone goes straight on, it's Ghosts in the Red Bull that's gone straight on. Maybe locking up, but Iceland Rhino's back in the lead of the race. ISO Skits up into 3rd place, battling with Lindsay and Lee the G. They're 3 wide into turn 5. And Lee the G on the inside makes contact. And ISO Skits has come through on Lindsay, now finding the Haas. On the outside, he taps the rear wheel and taps the wall. So that could have potential damage. Now Clappy getting in on the action. And that's Skits into the wall. It's a huge fall up. Oh, that is carnage. It's only a VSC. And somehow Lindsay looks like they've escaped with no damage. Ghost's the only one to retire from that crash. And looks like a couple of cars yet. Skits has damage, Camel has damage, and Blake Boat also has damage. So that was a huge crash. Oh, it's a full safety car now, and rightly so. Wow, that was an absolute car park. And diving into the pits is Cloxon, who must have gotten caught up in something. They've gotten a 5-second penalty in the pits as well. So this is going to send them all the way to the back of the pack. Actually, it won't, because a couple more drivers are pitting. Clappy, Frost, Blake Boat, Camel, Lindsay, and Skits. Lindsay's gambling this maybe, going on to some fresh hards. Because as far as I could see, they were undamaged, almost getting tapped by Clappy, but maybe there was a bit of damage because he's switching out his front wing. From the naked eye, it looked all fine to me. But he's going on to hards. Can he and these other drivers make them last until the end of the race? Go for a quick look at the tyres. Yeah, a couple of drivers on the hards now, so they'll want to make this work to the end of the race. And all these drivers need to catch up to the leader before the end of this lap if they want to go racing next lap. And we'll see if ISO Skits can. It is only a warm-up lap for those who've just pitted, meaning they won't be able to go as fast as they would if they were in a lap or two's time. Still acclimatizing to these tyres, and I don't think they'll be able to get through to the rest of the pack before sector 3, which is normally where we get the message about the safety car coming into the pits or not. So it's going to be another 6-kilometer lap before we're racing again. And ISO and Rhino, his teammate Cloxon's now way down the pack in 8th after they had full front wing damage. And now the pack's fully bunched up. So these 14 drivers from Burn Maylander are going to do another lap. And it's Cloxon coming to the pits again with some more front wing damage, possibly, or serving a penalty. And what's Carmel doing? Maybe with the nothing to lose mentality, coming in for a quick tyre change, as well as Cloxon, who's going on to the hards. We haven't had too much action on the opening laps of this race because of the premature safety car putting an end to the battles up front. But certainly there were some great battles for the midfield, which resulted in that huge pile up in the castle section. And Skits and Lindsay and Cloxon from the back will be wanting to make a recovery drive up through the field. We'll see what they can do. And we should get the safety car in this lap message from the FIA about now. There it is. Safety car's coming in, and it's a penalty for Camel. And they've got more front wing damage. Right end plate missing. And it's another penalty. It's chaos on the restart. That's ISO and Rhino down the pack. Full front wing damage. What is going on? Some more safety car shenanigans, and it's going to be Lee the G leading us off, going very slow, trying to get a jump. And all these cars are right side by side, and we're not going quite well. It's four wide, and we're going on the safety car restart. Lee gets a pretty good restart. A couple of drivers coming in, and around the first corner he's maintained the lead. We're going to look down the order for any battles. And it's some very close battles. Blake Boat in the fight with Frost, who's getting overtaken, or Italian Herbs, who's getting overtaken by Frost. And MX is getting very close to the back of OC Remix. Everyone very bunched up. And Iron Rhino has retired from the session. Wow. And to throw another spanner in the works. Oh, there goes Campbell off the road. But you can see him, he just went too hard into turn 2 on the cold tyres. And he will be fuming at that. And it's a spin almost for the AlphaTauri, who catches it. Now under pressure from Clappy is Blake Boat. And behind, oh, and Clappy hits the wall there. Is there any damage to the Aston Martin? It looks like there is. Full front wing damage, so they're going to have to defend heavily if they want to stay ahead of Cloxon. And Cloxon gets through, holding up Skits now. But Lindsay's dropped back quite a bit. It looks like they're missing a right end plate, and they must have gotten into some castle section chaos with Lindsay. And MX is right on the back of OC Remix. Less than 10th is a gap, and that's yet McFleet coming to the pits. How late's MX going to break? Fastest sector 3, but sticks behind, waiting for next lap. With the next straight, with the DRS. Maybe no DRS, and Lindsay's out of the session. That must have been maybe in the pit entrance, taking it too hot. So the 22-point gap is going to be tumbling down after this race. On OC Remix, looks like he just made a mistake there. This could let MX get a few more tenths on him, and it does. Leader G's, oh sorry, not Leader the G, OC Remix is all over the shop. This is going to leave him vulnerable to MXT on this straight here with DRS, and going wide once again to OC Remix. And Skits is right on the back of Blake Boat. So we've got two battles going. So ISO Skits the closest to another car of anyone. And you can see that gap between OC Remix and MX just staying about the same. So I don't think there's any DRS, but Blake Boat's coming into the pits, and Cloxon goes fastest, already back up to 5th place, and now DRS is enabled. So you can see that back flap of MX is opened, giving him less drag than OC Remix in front. He pulls out to the left hand side, going into turn 3, they're side by side, and by the end of turn 3, the Ferrari's in front. Can MXT challenge for the lead? There's only a 2-second gap up to Lee the G in front, and Blake both rejoined behind Clappy. And the battle for second place continues as OC Remix is looking like he's coming back at MX. Staying close, staying patient. And Remix wants to use this DRS on the main straight. It's the longest straight on the F1 calendar. And it's a nice helicopter shot as we look around turn 15, going into turn 16. Other cars. Can Remix launch an attack with the aid of DRS? They've both got about the same amount of ERS, and we're going to look from onboard with Remix down this straight. Doesn't look like they can get it done, but who can get the move done is Cloxon on Frost. And Remix can't get it done. So Cloxon's now up to P4, and he's gone fastest as well. Looks like Cloxon's the fastest man out on track today. No one else coming close to setting fastest laps. It's been all him on the fresh hard tyres. So finding some good pace. Remix can't get the move done once again. That's Clappy on the medium tyres, who's gone faster than the Mercedes. And Remix is caught back up again, but losing time out to the MXC on the exit. So it looks like MXC is starting to pull away from the AlphaTauri, leaving him vulnerable to Cloxon, who's gaining on him. So the gap from Cloxon to Remix is under a second now, under half a second. The Cloxon gets very squirrely on the exit. And coming up to turn 15, braking quite late, and they've gotten a much better corner than Remix. You can see the difference in braking. We're going to stick on board for this potential overtake. Mercedes. Here we go, it's Mercedes versus AlphaTauri. And it looks, the AlphaTauri is getting some good pace, so it's going to be side by side all the way into the corner. Who's going to be ahead? It looks like Cloxon's gotten ahead, and quite substantially, but they go wide, almost hitting the barrier. And that's official Frost, who's gone into the pits. Which leaves Skitson some clean air in 5th place. And a couple of drivers overtaking Frost. Where are they going to come out? Can they come out in front of Blakebo, who's gone fastest? They're going to come out just in front of him. And they've gotten a 5-second penalty for crossing the white line on the exit. And that's Cloxon who's left the session. Disconnection from them. So I would have been banking on Cloxon to win, and in front, Clappy getting pushed into the barriers by Pro Gamer, and they're going very close. Clappy returning the favour to the Alpine, and this is a 4-way, very close battle. And round turn 5 and 6, official Frost is looking to get in on the action. We're going to look from his perspective as Clappy has the inside, and it's a T-bone collision almost, and Blake Boat makes it through. A triple overtake, and there's crashes all around. Oh, and Clappy gets tangled up behind the Italian Herbs, and Camel and right end plate breaking off Clappy. And so I see Remix right on the back of the AI of Cloxon, who disconnected earlier. Gets the move done, and Clappy, even with that front wing damage, is still managing to hold his own against the Red Bull. He's very, very slow through that turn 16. And Ute McFleet's coming into the pits, some front wing damage. You'd think Cloxon's AI is getting overtaken once again. And these three all coming into the pits. That's very close. Oh, and it's Sebastian Vettel in the form of Rapid Clappy. who's dive bombed down the inside of Official Frost. Very, very nice move from them. So we'll see who gets out in front. Pro Gamer looks to be getting ahead of them all. But Official Frost being held out and now released. So a very nice move from Clappy. Italian Herbs and Camel, the closest to battling on track, apart from those at the back. But Clappy is gaining on Pro Gamer, who goes wide on the cold soft tyres. And it's brewing here. The Aston Martin lining up an overtake on Pro Gamer through the castle section. They go. Pro Gamer very, very slow. Almost brake checking the Aston Martin, who's getting a much better run through these corners. Out of the castle section they go. This is turn 13 now. And Pro Gamer gets a much better run down into turn 15. Clappy with DRS now is on the back of Pro Gamer, and you'd think is going to make this move work and probably stick. Clappy does get the move done, but he's coming back, is Pro Gamer, and he's gone wide and spun Clappy round. He manages to catch it very nicely. Clappy as a result's gone, or Pro Gamer as a result's gone straight on, which allows Official Frost to catch up to the back of him. So Official, it's going to be potentially three-way battle if Pro Gamer can catch up. And Frost is dropping back on Clappy, who doesn't look to have any damage. Lucky escape from them. I see Remix catching up to the Ferrari duo. And the first Ferrari of that duo is ISO Skits. But he's dropping back, coming into the castle section. It sounded like someone hit the barriers there, but maybe that was a glitch. Official Frost is gaining on Clappy again, so maybe it was Clappy that you could hear hit the barriers. Oh, and there's Frost out of the session, smashes into the wall. And for now, there's no safety car. And MX is almost under that 1 second mark, but behind Leader G. Isn't quite within the second, so they don't have DRS yet. Can MX stay with under that 1 second mark to get DRS into turn 3? And maybe not. They dropped back quite substantially towards the end. Gonna look on board, and it's rapid. It's Clappy that's retired from the session. It's a full safety car this time, so MX won't get an opportunity to overtake them. That's going to be a huge advantage or huge improvement for Pro Gamer, who's going to go from no hope in this race to having the opportunity to gain a couple of places. And this has played beautifully into the hands of the 6th, 7th place people who've all come into the pits at exactly the right time. So this is going to bunch up the pack. We're going to have a little bit of a break while this safety car is going on. I'll be back in a minute. So we should have one more lap and then we'll be back underway racing again. There's going to be MX leading us off the line this time. Seems like there must have been some pit stop strategies here. And it's a Ferrari 1-2 at the moment in Baku. And here we go. Safety car is in the slap. The pack's all bunched up and ready to go. And it's going to be the Ferrari of MX leading us off the line. For a very shaken up restart compared to the starting grid. I would have thought almost all the people in that in those 5 that have DNF'd could have been in contention for the win. But NMX leading us off very nicely, and they're going to maintain the lead into turn 1. And Blake Boat up the order. Gets past 7 plates, and there's a spin in the background. It's Camel who's managed to actually catch it. Very nice reaction from them. And Yeet McFleet could be in here. And also Remix has just been overtaken by Cloxon. Down the inside, and Remix almost goes into the wall, which could leave them vulnerable to their teammate Blake Boat. Looking to make a move on them. And Pro Gamer sizing up a move on Yeet McFleet. Just 2/10 a gap now. Will Pro Gamer go for the move here? Sticks behind. Very nice decision. Overtaking at turn 15 is one of the riskiest things you can do. DRS isn't enabled yet because it hasn't been 2 laps after the safety car. But these 4 are very close together. All sailing down to the line. Yeet McFleet is very close on Italian Herbs. But for now, these last 4 are all sticking behind. Sticking in order. Yeet McFleet, gap under a 10th now, he's going and pulls out at the last second on the overtake into turn 15. Very, very close stuff here. Can McFleet get Italian Herbs on the run down to the first corner? DRS enable now, so Yeet McFleet could get through, and it's Pro Gamer spun round on the opening turn of the lap. You can see the DRS flap open on the back of Yeet McFleet. Oh, and he has to run a bit wide, and he pulls out too late. Yeet McFleet's in the wall. And he's lost out to Pro Gamer. So now the battle up front's starting to intensify. These three getting closer and closer together. And to spin for Clockson, maybe involved in an incident with Remix. Or maybe Swan on their own, they passed Blakeboat. On Blakeboat's out of the session! Well, that's Camel. That's a huge crash. Full safety car. And rightly so. That was massive. Bunch of drivers now coming into the pits. Leaders are choosing to stay out for now. So it's probably going to be another couple of laps before we get back underway. Well, not quite back underway yet, but we've still got one more lap of safety car. As Lee the G dives into the pits to make hopefully the final tyre change of his race. There's going to be 6 laps of racing to go once the safety car comes in. Will there be any team orders here from down at Ferrari? Because if MX lets Skits through, if Skits wins, he will be winning the championship by 3 points since Lindsay DNF'd. Doesn't quite look like they're going yet, but now they are. Pro Gamer got a pretty good restart on Skits, but Lee the G's gotten a great restart. He's going up the inside of Yin McFleet into turn 1. It's very close. Yin McFleet just gets squeezed out by Lee, and Clocks is now in the mix and almost getting spun round was Lee the G, who's catching him up to the back of Italian Herbs. He's sizing up a move, going left, going right, and going down the inside on Italian Herbs. He's made the overtake. And a nice one at that. Now catching up into 5th place. He's looking for an overtake on Blake Boat in the AlphaTauri. And there's a bit of commotion up ahead from Pro Gamer, who's weaving through that corner in the chicane. And they're going wide. Pro Gamer pulls to the inside, makes contact with Remix, and that slowed them down. And it's a crash. Oh! Lee the G gets through, but it looks like that was Cloxon maybe getting caught up on the castle section. Pro Gamer involved in another incident. And side by side is Remix and Lee the G. Lee the G gets through and is looking for an overtake on Blake Boat on the outside. It's front wing damage. I don't know who. Done yet without the aid of DRS. And we're going to ride on board with him for a bit to see his POV through this attacking lap against Yeet McFleet. We've had 6 DNFs this race so far. Cloxon almost added a second back there through turn 19, I believe that was. And going down, he's going Italian Herbs. He pushes him off the track. And he's gone through, but gives the position back, as it was an illegal overtake. Nice sportsmanship from Herbs. And he's on the attack once again, gaining 3.5 tenths the gap between these two. But it's just opened up a bit more. This Italian Herbs looks to be struggling. He's diving and reaching for Yeet McFleet. He's going to get a better exit probably. And that's Pro Gamer's round in the castle section. DRS enabled for this lap. Italian Herbs, he could get this move done. As I say, Yeet McFleet's pulling away. Suddenly, Italian Herbs has found this pace, and he's looking, and he can't get the move around the outside done quite yet, so he's dropped back, waited for DRS. Can it help him get up into 5th position? I'm sure 10 points right now would make him feel very, very good, and he can't do it. Straight too short. They're both almost cutting the corner there. They're so close to the limits of this track. Just making it through the castle section. Italian Herbs staying on the back of Yeet McFleet. This battle's been an awesome one to watch. And these are some great camera angles we're getting. Italian Herbs he was looking a second for a dive bomb then. Yeet McFleet goes wide. So it's a potential overtaking opportunity for the Alpine. Some good old Alpine versus Alfa Romeo, and ISO Skits has gone down the inside on his teammate. Nice move with DRS there. MX could come back with the second helping of DRS, and he's weaving his Yeet McFleet, and he's covered off the Alpine behind. And from those delta times, MX is losing time to his teammate. But Italian Herbs can't get this move done, even with all the DRS. Yeet McFleet's proving to get some good exits at the right time. And MX is falling back really far. So ISO Skit's clearly finding some pace on these 11 lap old mediums where MX isn't. Italian Herbs is gaining time in the right part of the track to gain. At the end of the sector 2, sector 3 is where you want to be in the DRS zone. And MX, you can see on the Delta, he's catching up so quickly to his teammate ISO Skits in front. He's looking for some payback into turn 1. Is he going to go for it? He's gaining, and not quite enough to make the move work. But Italian Herbs has got DRS right now, and you can see he's closing up, almost getting sent into the pits, and it's The enemy fleet's weaving a bit. Italian Herbs can't get it done. But MX on the other hand is gaining. Almost was able to do it. It's a spin for Pro Gamer, I believe. No, it's Italian Herbs. He's now 4.5 seconds back. He, I think, went round the outside and got sent into the wall. Because he's missing his front wing. So there's a lap and a half to go in this race. I don't think he should pit. He should try and continue to keep that gap to Remix. Keep ahead of him for 8 points currently. And now Lee the G's getting involved in this battle for second and first place. MX will be defending hard for his teammates' sake. And for Ferrari's sake, the team principal of Ferrari. They're going across the line onto the final lap of this race. MX is going to get his probably last chance into turn 3. Both of these guys are on old 13 lap mediums. And Lee the G's on half their tyre life softs. So it's going to be quite an even battle. Both these tyres are being stretched to about the same point in their lives. MX can't get through on skits. Bit of oversteer you could see at the back of the Haas of Lee the G. When all these drivers are coming through into the second sector, they've got half a lap to go. Oh, and it's a spin! Lee the G's round. Can he get his car back round? He can. Very nice work. So he's going to be third place if he can maintain it, but he might spin again on those warm, soft tyres. Doesn't look like he's going to spin. Well, Ferrari came to Baku today for round 3, wanting to extend their advantage in the Constructors' Championships. They've done just that, and ISO Skits came here wanting to close the gap to Lindsay. He hasn't closed it. He's taken the lead of the championship. ISO Skits wins in Baku. And we have a new championship leader. Skits now leads the championship by 3 points. MX is currently on 50... Oh, sorry, he's on 48 points, so that would put him 9 behind Lindsay. Skits leads the championship 60 to 57. And Ferrari have had an absolute day out, so 1-2. Which will give them another 43 points in the championship. Excellent result for these two. Nice podium from Lee the G. So that will be, I think that will be his maiden win, or maiden podium of this season. Looking at the standings. So it's just Pro Gamer who's coming across the line. And it was a nice race, 2-3 safety cars. Just like Div 2. But there was some absolute carnage at the start. Blake Boat Driver, they gained quite a few positions. But some great stuff we saw today. I'll just run through the standings and then that's going to be it. Make sure to get back here next week. So it's ISO Skids that wins in Baku. And what a nice win it was. Started in 6th place, finished in 1st, and the lead of the championship is now his. That's all from me. See you next time for the Ocean.